You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Scan the QR code to subscribe to our new channel, Weddingworthy, where we celebrate amazing couples and the love stories behind their perfect day.
Hi, I'm Jason Lynn with the Decorators Unlimited. I'm one of the interior designers of the project here for a project here in Palm Beach Gardens.
Hello, Mitch Kunik, partner in Affinity Architects. Welcome to this home in beautiful Palm Beach Gardens.
Our firm works in teams, so we've had the great fortune of working with Mitch and his team at Affinity on many projects. One of the things that we think we do well as a group is we play well off of his architecture. You know, a house must flow from the front elevation or the curb into the interiors and to the exteriors. So our goal is always to understand the architecture, the size, the scales, Mitch's visions, the client's goals, whether it's a spec house or a custom. So it's highly important to understand how the architecture flows, the space configuration. This is a large home. It's laid out very functionally and layered in a very tailored way. So we have to play well with the architecture and the landscaping. So this house was easy for us. Jack Linetto from my team bolted on, took a great job working with Mitch and his team as far as layering the processes, making sure the ceilings were coordinated, making sure the finishes were coordinated, making sure we used a lot of hidden doors, you know, a nice gourmet style kitchen, beautiful large dining room, a gym. I think we basically checked off every box from architecture to interior. So for us, it's just a layered and tailored fest for a nice, sophisticated, timeless home here.
It all starts with the big idea, you know, within the image of what we thought this overall feel and the vibe of this house was going to be.
Yep.
You know, and that all is doing exactly what you just described.
Yeah, it's architecture and design is one. If you do it right, it should be a nice collaboration to create a beautiful, amazing home as we did here.
Welcome to the great room, to the main room of the house. This is a one big space that has the ceiling, the main ceiling at 12 feet high, and the 12-foot height of the ceiling matches the height of the doors. So the doors and the ceiling are the same height, carrying all of the vision all the way through the room. And as we come through this space, you can see the kitchen is open to this side, but then there's a serving area open to the kitchen off to the side that we'll look to later. But back over this area opens up to the main TV area, fireplace area. These doors all pocket open, even from the corner back into the wall. Again, with the overhang, allows a great transparency and access to the outside.
And what we did with Mitch's architecture is we kind of bolted on and helped bring in the intricate detailed ceilings with the metal framing and the backlighting areas to kind of give it a nice illuminated space. The large footprint allows us to have a great functioning space, two large curvature sofas, vertically integrated fluted fireplace, large TV, integrated ceiling designs with nice coffered lighting around it to give it a nice mood lighting. And to make the space even feel larger, we put a large full-scale mirror, which a few people we've seen have actually tried to walk through, thinking it's a door. And then what's nice about the footprint here is you come through the foyer of the front of the house and the two-story, as Mitch was alluding to, with the beautiful custom lighting we put in. It gives you a beautiful center line out to the lap pool and to the beautiful transparency out to the rear of the home.
Out of the great room area here, as we call it, is a breakfast island that opens up into the kitchen island, which opens up into the main kitchen area. And as we come back into here, again, you see the ceiling that Jason talked about, carrying through the space, doors opening up to a eating area, barbecue, aligning with the island. And then from this side, the island turns out into another island, which opens up through pocketing doors into the dining room, through a butler's pantry, which allows total access and entertaining for everything and or closing off for just intimate day-to-day use, watching TV or going outside.
And one of the things that's most important about the space is how the kitchen actually functions. You know, a working triangle of 12 feet allows this kitchen to function perfectly, from the fridge and freezer to the cook to the large integrated primary sink. We also have a prep sink over there. And then you have the stackable ovens and microwave and steam ovens. And what's great about this space is it also opens up to allow you a beautiful view of the TV with a nice illuminated breakfast area, elevated a little higher, so it kind of gives you that nice, warm, cozy, functioning feeling so that you can have a large gathering space. And then that the way our team, Jack, designed it is that then it falls into the dining room over here with pocketing doors, a beautiful backdrop. So from a workspace function and flow, it's perfectly elegant and designed in accordance. One of the things we try to do is look at the outside materials and finishes that Affinity and Mitch have put together. What we're seeing is a big change in colors and tones. This house is more taupe, beige, and neutral, so more earth tones, more timelessness. The grays have kind of gone out as far as the design aspects of this home. So you'll see how the taupes and beige is kind of vertically integrated into the Cheroust oak, the beautiful marble that we have, the taupe-colored Italian porcelain floors. So everything is kind of a nice earth tone inside and out, so the house feels very harmoniously blended.
With a little bit of a beachy feel, so you feel like you're in Florida, not anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the club room, which is right out of the great room area, past the kitchen area, all access through pocketing sliding doors to the outside. And once you get into the great room area here, there's a large TV area here that, again, pocketing doors opens to the outdoors. From this side, there's a bar area that basically opens to a wine area, which opens up to a courtyard that's open to the dining room, which also during every day can open up to the exercise room further down, so that you have a total hangout space other than the great room that's all connected or could be connected to the great room for entertaining.
And the best part about this house is you have the front of the house for your function, for your kitchen, but you have the back of the house for entertaining, social events, a separate area for the adults, you'll call it. We have a beautiful integrated bar, same materials and finishes at the kitchen. You have a nice large layout with a sectional, another fireplace, which is great for the view. And then as you come into the bar area here, it also lays out for the best part of the home, I feel. It's great to have a nice cocktail, a bottle of wine, a beautiful cigar. All the materials should flow on the first floor, so your house really starts to feel as one continuous area, which is great. So this is a little more cozy, a little more tight, a little more intricate, a beautiful glass design, climate-controlled wine room, a great area to sit and hang out. And if you wanted to, you can open up the sliders, hear the waterfall from the backdrop of the landscaping. So it's a very tranquil room.
And or go exercise.
Or go exercise if you want after cocktails. This is what I would call a very timeless contemporary home. It's soft on the inside with a lot of taupes and beiges and neutrals, warm and elegant and sophisticated. I mean, when you design a house of this caliber and size, it has to stand the test of time architecturally and interiors, so that in 10 or 15 years when someone comes to this house, it still resonates to a beautiful piece of architecture and interiors. And I think we nailed it on this one as we've done on others, but this one definitely puts this house on the map in Palm Beach Gardens. I think it sets the tone, it sets the size, the scale, and I think, on a scale of 1 through 10, I think we hit a 10.1.
Yeah, well, we also carried the louvers and the paving and the landscaping to the inside with your work.
Yeah.
And that's how you get the transparency and some of the scale of this house, so it breaks it down so it's not just one big box.
Yeah, you have to layer a house. You have to look from the ceiling to the walls, to the floor, to the softness, to the materials. It's a tailoring effect, and you can't just look at every space differently. You have to look at each space individually. And when we worked with Mitch and his group, Mitch was involved in a lot of our interior design presentations. We made sure that with his architecture and our interiors, from the day we started to the day we closed on the house, it was a seamless approach for us. Please come with us to one of the best parts of the house, the master suite.
Once you enter the master suite, you enter into a sitting area, which basically is a space between the bedroom area and the bathroom area. And coming through this sitting area here, looking straight through, you see the lap pool, doors that open totally, and a view of the waterway and everything else beyond. And if you turn around, you'll see all the way back into the suites of the bathrooms and closets and everything else. So it's one self-contained area of just pure heaven.
This room functions and flows similar to the other house. We use the same colors and tones on the first floor, so it was a harmonious blend. You have a nice large sitting area here. As you come into the master, you have some textured wallpapers. We added some additional mirrors to make the room feel larger off of Mitch's architecture. Large seating group, your view is actually dragged right outside to the large lap pool. We did some integrated oak louvered look here to kind of soften and give you more of a nice barricade of view, but it also allows you to have your light and fenestration come on through from a view.
Welcome to her primary bathroom. Straight ahead is the closet, which also accesses her garage with her laundry room area. Back into here is an enclosed toilet and everything else. Her vanity. Back this way is the tub that opens out to a privacy garden.
One of the things about this bathroom configuration for her is that the natural light that comes in here, it's very large, it's spacious. It isn't her shower, a large bathing tub with natural light. Once the foliage grows in, it'll be a nice, totally transparent private area. You have a nice makeup area for her. 4 beautiful pendants that we let in, mirrors that kind of make the space feel larger. So when you're in this space, as large as it is, it actually feels warm and comfortable.
Right, and then from here you can see the pool and the waterway beyond. So there's never a dull moment.
Yeah, and both his and her sections are designed very similar. His color palette is a little more masculine. Hers we kept the same. Both closets are done by Schematic Designs, which turned it out great. So you have a nice, elegant, fluted look with some beautiful designs and materials in there. So everything is elegant and on point like the rest of the home.
There's even an area there to sit while you're putting in your shoes or whatever else, and a packing area for your luggage, and also an area for all of your jewelry and everything else. So it's all enclosed and built in.
Favorite part of this design, I would think, is how the house, when you first drive up to it architecturally and you get to the interiors, it's just so soft and inviting. It makes you feel like you're in a tranquil place of Florida, and it just feels so warming, and it's natural, and it's just cozy, and it's a very functional house for me. I mean, the house functions at a very big scale, but it feels small and inviting on the interiors. I think that's just from the way where your architecture and our interiors layered it very well.
Yeah, well, also you could look at it from the almost an aerial type of view. You know, we really looked at, you know, when you come through that front entry, you could see right at the gate, all the way through, layering past the guest house pool and everything else, past the driveway, past the entry point with the fountains and everything else, and you look through the house right at the front gate. And then from there, when you go all the way to the back of the house from the intercoastal, we created a tower element at the rear porch area that's maximum building height, just to make sure that everybody saw the scale of this house. So yes, it was intimate, but at the same time, we gotta have the freaking big bang.
And one of the other things I like about this house, it's at east-west, so you got great sun exposure on both sides.
True.
I mean, that's
Well,
when you have a house like
everything
this.
wraps around with the louvers and everything else, so the light filters in,
Yeah.
so it keeps it soft of everything that you guys have done.
Yeah, the architecture allowed with the natural light fenestration to come in. So each room is bright and warm and tranquil, and there's not a dull room in this house. Come with me, I'm gonna take you over to the wellness center of the home.
Welcome to the exercise room that opens out to the courtyard, which now opens out to the club room, which we just came from. And then from the exercise component in here, which is pretty straightforward, off to the side here is a massage area, an area to do your hair and have your beauty treatments and everything else. Off to this side is the spa and everything else. So this is sort of a self-contained space that is as good as a resort can give you.
The one thing that makes this house kind of a resort that he's talking about, you have everything under one roof. You have a full functioning gym, you have a sauna, you have a pool, you have a beauty area, you have a place to sweat besides going outside in Florida in the middle of summer. So you kind of check off the boxes. This is a house that has everything you need to live a very well-balanced, healthy life.
What inspired this design is the site. The site plan is very long, and it also has a piece of property that is beyond the buildable area to the waterway. So we took advantage of the length of the site to create a whole series of events as you come from the beginning of the site towards the guest house. Then after you come by there, then as you start approaching the main entry, to the left-hand side is sort of a toy garage for the owner with a sitting area, with a bar, all kinds of great things. And then as you turn that corner, boom, the entry opens up and you get the halfway down through the site at that point. And then the opening of the house is all lit up by fountains on either side. You come through the foyer, two-story foyer before you come into the house, opens up to a two-story, the height in there, and then you can see through the house, all the way through to the pool, all the way out through that property, all the way to the intercoastal. So it's basically like a 400-foot view with a lot that is obviously something less than that. So we're getting the expanse of that overall site carried through within a Pacific modern aesthetic that we brought in and tied it all together. I got involved with architecture by wanting to be a naval architect. And since that was something that wasn't as interesting by the reality of how you do it, I ended up getting into architecture. My family background of art and everything else all sort of came together, and now it's sort of a passion lifestyle.
Hey Mitch, you did a great job on the architecture. Let's go take a look outside what you guys created.
Okay, let's go. The architecture of this house, again, was more of a Pacific inspiration, resort inspired, and again, within a transitional feel. The tower and all the wood columns all are connected through the wood louvers that are carried through the whole house that you can see from inside to outside, and the deck and all that stuff is a seamless type of thing. The flooring and the deck and everything that carries into the same flooring as the house. So the massing here, the overhangs are 6 feet wide, 10 feet wide, just to give you the scale of how big this is. And then you go underneath and you feel nice and intimate.
It's a very warm in space outside. It allows for multiple functioning. I think it has everything that we need to have a great time or a party outside for the family or friends. This is beautiful. This is one of the best parts of the house.
Well, it's the southern part of the house, you know? It's, everything has its own space, its own feature. This is obviously set up for multiple entertaining zones. Those doors that opened up there are within a smaller overhang. A very large overhang there gives them shelter from everything, as well as opening up to the kitchen and the great room part of the house. And on the other side of this is the spa. This is the lap pool. And over in here is a fountain with a fire pit. So you've got everything going on in this space. And then this is the beautiful lawn that is out to the waterway, which is all part of the overall experience.
One of the things I liked working with Mitch and our landscaper, Brian Donahue at Insight Design, was it allowed us to have different functioning places, from the barbecue to the dining to the occasional to the fire pit, to having a backyard for the animals. If you've got a client that wants to swim, lay in the sun, not in the sun, it has great covered area. It kind of checks off all the boxes.
The same wood gets carried through, even the decking and everything else, all the way from the dock is all carried through, all the way to the front of the house and to the guest house and everything beyond at the gate. And, so that was all part of the experience, being carried all the way through with the big tower that gives that iconic, there's the space in the ground of where this house started. So when you're all the way back at the waterway looking back at this house, there's a sense of scale while you're compressed into the actual part of the house that's got some smaller spaces.
Yeah, the backyard's big, it's spacious, so's the front. The house is great size and scale. From front to the interiors to the exteriors, I think we did a good job.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, welcome to the entrance foyer. Since it's Florida, we have the foyer on the outside of the house versus inside of the house. 2 stories, all the glass opening up through the house, all the way through the front door, with fountains coming through to the front entry.
Mitch, one of the things I really like about this house is you actually feel like you're on water when you walk up to it. What was the thought of that?
Well, again, it's to bring the water out to the front from all the way in the back. So that experience as soon as you enter. Palm Beach architecture has matured along with the property values. As the property values have increased, the architecture has had to keep pace up with the property values. So it's incredibly important that it keeps maturing. And I think it's at a point now, especially with this house, this is a timeless house with the scale and everything else that's here, and the materials and the workmanship and all of the workmanship the developer got into this house, that I think will always be good and will be great moving forward as a historical building as well as a timeless building.
a house should always function before you ever make it look beautiful. I think that's the fundamental design of every house you work in. If the house doesn't function right and for a family or a project, whether it's a commercial, residential, or whatever it be, if it doesn't function first, you can never make it look beautiful. So that's always one of the positives about our firm. We have our own in-house architectural team that works with Mitch and them so that we always understand the fundamentals of their architecture to our functionality of interior. So I think that's always the biggest tip for our team and our great designers. Homeworthy. Thanks for coming and look at a house that is designed by Affinity Architects and Decorators Unlimited. Hope you appreciated the walkthrough and the view. Thanks again.
See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.